All right, one of the more common things we have happen when customers are building their cabinets, these things go together really well. We're really happy with Conestoga's quality, but every now and then we have a customer who just says they can't get the front frame to fully nest onto the cabinet. You can look at a lot of our assembly videos on the website. We got dozens of them. This video is really not showing an assembly. It's showing how to work around a common couple of problems you may run into. One problem is not common, but it's able to happen on many cabinets. The other one's going to be probably on tall cabinets only. We're demonstrating this on a base cabinet, but here's the issue. When Conestoga does a cabinet, they come in parts, as you know, it's an RTA cabinet, and all the cabinet parts that nest into the front frame have these black splines that are pre-inserted in the panels. And the root of these two issues I'm going to discuss is when this spline is too far over and it runs into the front frame and the panel, the top or bottom, will not go into the front frame. And the other is if this spline is somehow out a little bit and twisted and you're working with the side panel and it won't nest into the front frame. You can look at the end of the cabinet and see that the side panel won't fully nest into that groove, and what's happening is the spline is holding up on that shoulder. So we want to demonstrate those two issues and what to do about it. They're really simple fixes. They can be real head scratchers. If you're in the middle of an assembly, it can drive you crazy because this front frame just will not go on. And these are two of the most common things to try before you call your sales rep and they start getting into replacement parts. Oftentimes you don't need replacements at all. It's just an assembly issue. So I'm going to start with the side. So here's my cabinet side. So here's my top of my cabinet. Again, we're not going to demonstrate an assembly. Let's pretend this is a tall cabinet. And I'm going to do what the instructional videos say. I'm going to line up my cabinet here and try to push it in. And I'm hammering away. And as I'm looking at the end, I'll spin this to the camera. As I'm hammering away, I can't get this gap to close up. This will physically not go in anymore. On a tall cabinet, what may have happened is this spline has walked out of the groove and it's bent sideways, okay? It's just twisting enough that it's catching on the shoulder of the front frame. The way to solve that is lay this back down and first of all, make sure your splines are aligned, but you can sometimes get a screwdriver in there while you're still in the assembly mode and just push that spline back into the groove. It takes 2 seconds, but what you want to have, if you want good glue bond, is you want to have that panel touching the front frame. If you have a space there, the glue cannot bond the two wood pieces together and you're going to have an issue down the road with the front frame being loose on that cabinet box. Super simple one to fix. Just check your splines on your panel before you even start the assembly and you'll solve that one right away. All right, next one I'm going to demonstrate. I want to get this cabinet together a little bit first off camera. We'll come back and I'll show you the other one that happens with these top and bottom panels. Be right back. All right, we're back here assembling our base 18. The second issue I want to demonstrate is what happens when you can see that Conestoga is pre-inserting these splines from the factory. And when they put them in, they want to be inboard of the side of the top and bottom panel by a couple of inches. Every now and then we have customers who say, and they find this through the mistake I'm about to show you, they can't get their cabinet together and this is the root problem. The spline is too far outboard of the edge of the cabinet box, and what happens is it runs into the front frame. So let me show you this. Got my glue in my my cabinet side panels. I'm just going to assemble this like I normally would if I was a homeowner at home. And watch what happens when I get down here. That spline goes in, and this spline is sitting up on the front frame. No matter how much I hammer that cabinet bottom is not going to go into the front frame. The only trick, or the only solution is you got to back the panel out a little bit. You've got to back it out a little bit and take a pair of pliers. I have some needle nose here I would use. You can use a screwdriver, whatever you want to do, but you got to move that spline over so it's in the groove area of the front frame. And now when I go in, it'll nest in perfectly fine. So it's super easy fixes. They're not sometimes intuitive, and they're all based on the location of those splines and how Conestoga inserted them. Our sales guys are a phone call away if you ever need any help, but sometimes this will just help you solve it and move on if you're on a Saturday afternoon, you really want to get this thing done. So as always, give us a call if you have any questions, 888-211-6482. Thanks for watching.